Welcome to Stoned Ape Game 3, Episode 5. We pick up in Cycle 23, and this likely will be the last episode. We started releasing the pandemic as the blue team with seven different teams in the game. We unleashed it and killed the stupid Luke team. We continued pressing on, pushing clockwise into the potato buttered toast team with a great potato pandemic. We confronted the Hivemind and have all but erased them at this point. During that time, we started with a tight alliance from day one with Team JSE, the green team. The only way we lose is if they flip on us. Well, and as we were dealing with the Hivemind, the unthinkable happened. Guzes, the only one, and Fu Manchu committed mutiny and outright attacked their own ally, the Jewish Star Empire, because he wanted to withhold and honor his word, and they wanted bloodthirsty victory for themselves. So they killed him. Almost. He did go through, and he now is sitting in a little bit of exile, and his home star has been left intact. A little bit of honor. The nice thing about this is we've then continued to give him scan and give us vision of all of team now. We'll call them Team Guzes. In the meantime, Team GB and Species have taken advantage and been opportunistic when the Graymason team was killed by Team JSE. And when we pushed on the Hive and had gathered all these stars down in the southeast corner, countered hard and took those back, being able to take the Hive stars without having to declare war on the Hive. So we take a look at the Empire screen. And this is a nice summary of the power of really the three main empires left. We look at our alliance that includes Kane, Brittany, and Imp. Brittany goes in Discord by Leave No Witnesses. And we've added the Jewish Star Empire. And that gets us at 133 stars, 28,000 ships, 558 ships per hour created. You compare those numbers to the Alliance of Guzes. So we're at 28,000 to 19,000, 560 to 307. So the difference there, 28 to 19, we have 9,000 more ships. Well, when you add in Team GB, they're at 16, so they actually have 7,000 more ships than us combined, not even counting the Hive. Add in the Hives, that's another 9,000, so now we're at 18,000 ships less than the enemies. When you look at our ship production, 558, well, so we're about 90 more, but then you add in there, and we're already there 200 more. Yeah. So it's not a good look when you look at the whole map. Now, the one thing that's been the saving grace is that the techs have not been shared. When you look at these lesser empires, they don't have all the tech. So while they are attacking, it's more of a tickle. So the yellow is not as big of a threat, but it still does damage. And so we're at a point now where it's really, I don't think we can beat all of them together. We need to get someone to turn. I see no reason why the Hive would do anything but continue to defend and throw their ships at us. And GB's show nothing but hostility towards us. The question is, Guzes, can we convince him to flip back to us? He only switched because he felt like he had a chance to win if he aligned with the rest of the board. I think the logic there is we fight them, we get weak, he takes it over, and he takes them over. If that is in his mind as a possibility, then there's no reason for him to work with us. If he thinks there's no way he can win by fighting us, then maybe, and we're weaker and GB's the big threat, then maybe he flips back to us. So from a strategic perspective, my logic now is full force against Guzes. Defend, don't just freely give, but defend. But if you have to make a choice between what to defend against, give yellow the star first, give purple the star next, and no mercy on green. And that would strengthen Team GB, hopefully enough, so Guzes will come back to us. So if we go back now to where we left off at the end of the last episode, we still had a bit of a foothold down here. There was massive assaults coming into the center and a little bit of activity here. Let's go one by one. In the southeast, where we had the most gains, you can see coming in is species, and with that we start to lose stars, and all of the gains that we had down here, poof, are gone. We had a choice: do we try to defend and blow up the Hivemind? And he had this coming in, and the question, and my perspective was no, we don't blow him up. We save the ships to deal with the bigger threat. Let yellow get whatever yellow gets. Don't stop that. Don't waste ships on yellow, because yellow's too far removed from the game. So at this point, we're, I think, hoping to hold about this line here. And we may give up a few more stars, but if we do, I'd rather give them up to yellow than to purple. Let's look now, let's go back in time to where we left off. In the center, we were under massive assaults. We had, what is that, almost 800, 600, 800, 500, and we rallied the troops, and you can see, then they sent another 200, and we were able to fend these things off by the skin of our teeth. They did make a shot at the Scorched Earth. We rallied for that. They did temporarily take over GB, and they continued trying to defeat us, but an amazing display of defensive maneuvers by Kane and Imp, to the point now where we are here, and not only have we successfully defended, and we lost HB temporarily, we defended everything else, we reclaimed it. They're sending 100, that's easily defended, but this other 1,000, instead of being sent at us, now is going east, presumably to try to make gains over here. So we've lost ground. We want to get yellow the stars instead of purple, and we've held in the center. Now, if we look at where we were, this is where we were up here. And you can see we had a lot of ships, and I asked Brittany to send everything. And I gave her very explicit directions on what to do, and she said she would. So, in addition to that, you can see we're getting attacked down here, and this little chain of stars here. And so as we go forward slowly, we're going to defend this 800. We do lose elk. Oops, I went back. And then HB is going to reclaim that. Kane's pushing in. So we're trying to put a lot of pressure and test this green team and their alertness. We lose another star. And you'll see all the lines up here, and it was at this point we said, we need to make them pay. They counterattack. You can see it's really hard to see with all the lines. I made an attack against here, trying to put some pressure in, and I made another little counterattack. I tried to hit these guys, so I warp gated this star, and I started to see if I could snipe that. They're going to react, and I'm going to go ahead and lose barely, but it is going to require them to completely stop attacking us and defend. So I want to get them on their heels. And then here, it says they win, but I don't think they win because that lands in 4 hours. Oh, because it doesn't have that I cut the warp gate. Here, there we go. Yeah. Well, it's not calculating correctly, but no, we blow this up. So we also, however, we do lose Zadar. So we're actually struggling a bit fighting off green. We're losing stars here. What we're hoping though is this should win. This loses. This wins by 68. So we're going to reclaim. That's 2 stars that Brittany started with. This loses by 21. So it'll be unfortunately close. But even though we don't take the star, we're taking a huge threat off the map. And when you look at the overall ship count in the game, we want to see this green line go down. It was just going up too much. And we have Brittany and Kane, and we need to use Brittany's stars to blow him up because Brittany isn't as active as Kane, and she's just not as experienced as Kane. So we're like, let's use her stars to soften him up. This says it wins right now. I'm not sure that it will, but that would be great if it did. And either way, we get 2 back. This is severely weakened. This is either we take it or weaken it, and we can bring in another wave. And I think that is our plan: is to kamikaze into Guzes up here to make him feel like working, and then letting GB grow, and to the point where Guzes says it makes more sense to work with us than to work with GB. Cycle 24. The war rages on. We'll take a quick look at the stats. And right now, when you look overall, as an individual empire, we're the strongest. But Team GB and Guzes have aligned and continue to throw their ships at us. When we do the math and add this up, they have 16 more stars collectively, 8,000 more ships, which is about 125% of the ships that we have. And they have 64 more ships per hour created than us, which is 110% of what we are producing. We still do maintain a science lead, but it's not substantial at this point. And on top of that, you still do have the Hive, who's not dead, who've been continuing to throw their ships at us. Now that becomes less and less of a threat because their technology, they're not getting the tech, and they're falling behind. So if you just look at its 3 teams left, we're behind. Now, we'll go back in time. We're tick 494. We're going to go back to where the last video ended, which was about here. And we'll just take a look at what was going on. We had our big assault. We said, Brittany, you're just accumulating. We need to put the pressure on. If we just keep taking hits, you won't win. And so this would be my advice if you're ever in this type of a battle. Sometimes you have to say, screw it. I'm not going to sit and take it. I'm going to take the battle to them, because you never know. Good things could happen. Most players will not. When they see, what is this? I don't even know. It's like 4,000 ships coming at them. They're not going to leave their stars and defend it and counterattack, which is what you're afraid is going to happen. They're going to try to defend as best they can. It's just human nature, and it's really chaotic if you don't. So you're better off in these situations just doing that. So in addition to this, we have all the fighting with the rest of their team. So we'll focus on this quadrant because I think this is going to be one of the more important areas. And you can see this landed, and we took it. We look up top here. We're going to take these are both Brittany stars that she had at one point that Guzes took from her. You have this 2,200 ships coming in, and while it gets defended, they're down to 9 ships. She counterattacks up top, and reclaims it. So it sent another wave, and we are 3 hours in the past, and you can see now where this is where we're at. As it stands, this should land. She has her carriers lined up to start to reinforce so she could keep this, and we actually made a little bit of progress against Guzes. His ship count obviously went down tremendously, which was very important to us. Okay, going back in time to where we were, let's focus now on this section of the map. This is complete chaos, and this was the border between HB or Imp, and well, Guzes is in the vicinity. You also have Fu Manchu as the primary players, and it's kind of going all back and forth. Again, where we're taking Cursa, Leftania, like all of these are just switching hands. This left elector, we kind of switching that back and forth. Did we lose it yet? Yeah, we'll keep going. You could see the battles here where they take it, we come back. They had brought in this gigantic number of ships here that is just so frightening, and there really wasn't any true defense for that. And then are able to go and reclaim yet again those stars. So we've gone back and forth, and this is where we're at right now. So as it stands now, another wave was sent. We should claim this and take this star back, but it is crazy. They should come and take this star. We will win, but then they'll take it right back. So ton of fighting in this quadrant, and it's really just sending ships up. Now, if we can make progress against Guzes, he's by far their strongest player and the strongest singular enemy. So if Brittany can get in here and get some of these stars, every, what is this? That's 7 more industry, 3 more science that we get that they don't have. So it's not like 7, it's a 14 industry difference because we're producing it and they're not. Now, we did lose the front line. The front line moved, apparently. This didn't used to be the front line, but we did lose this star. This was Sidar. And then let's look at the center here. So this is what it's looking like now. If we go back in time, this is where we left off. And it was a little bit quiet, and then you can see, we'll zoom in a little bit more. You can see that they just kept the reinforcements coming, and we just kept fending it off. We have a little bit of a weapons advantage. I think we're at 1, and this is where we're at now. So, is this where we're at now? Yeah. So this will lose. This will lose. Right now this wins. We need 700 to defend, but I've got the 700 here and here that'll come. So we will be able, and then whatever bounces off from this attack. So I think we'll be fine. And be able to fend this off, and he's only got he's got another 1,000 here. So again, we continue fending off in the center. In the east, go back to where we were. There was a decision made right here. Right here when we had the Hivemind, who actually did get some weapon upgrades, and we could have blown this 1,300 up. And we said, let's not. The Hive is not a threat. Let's save your ships for Species, who's one of the 3 main science people on the enemy team. So you can see here the decision was basically let them take it, clear off Con Rift, let them take Con Rift, and instead use it to fight Species. Of course, they're launching on us. We're defending. We're trying to hold this front here. We hold it a little bit, but it looks like we're about to lose this star. So here's where we're at right now. Yeah, we have this foothold for now. Now, I think what'll happen is it's very likely that we lose these 3 stars, but that with the gap, it's a lot harder to attack across the gap, even at this stage of the game, because our reinforcements get there so much faster. So if we hold this line, only give up 3 more stars, that's good. You'll notice a lot of these yellow stars became purple. We want more yellow, less purple. So that's where we stand. Now, So if things continue down the path they were going, we lose. They're ahead. I need Team GB to be killed because he'll never group with us. Instead, I want Guzes to flip back to us. And so I'm trying to convince him of the following. I said, it's great that we said we would attack GB, but we're just lying. Are you really okay with Team GB winning instead of one of us? Because that seems to be how it's shaping up. Let's spice it up. Let's take him out, divvy up his stars, and then duke it out. At least that way one of the two of our teams wins. He says, my demands were clear. It's you that continued the attack. And he said, after spending all those ships to get the advantageous position, you want me to just stop and leave the borders as is and attack a different enemy? I said, they were. You want us to gift you stars. Come on, that's dumb. You just take them and keep attacking, which I fully expect he would do. That's what I would do. What you said you wanted is to take out the team that you thought were on top, which will be Team GB now. Just you and GB have 16 more stars, 8,000 more ships, 64 more ships per hour than us, and that does not include Team Hive that's only attacking us. We can't win this fight, but you better damn well bet that we're taking you with us. So essentially, you're gifting GB the win, and that's what I don't get. There's no way you win this in the current course. We will not waver. I would much rather you die with me than letting you stab us and win. So I'll allow Team GB to win. The only way for your team to have a shot is that we all attack GB. Of course, he attacks us, so you get his stars and we take the brunt of his damage. Then we fight 1v1. At least then one of us wins. And you have a damn good shot because we'll absorb is what I meant to say, his 21,000 ships while you do not. How do you not see this as the most viable solution here? Come on, Guzes, you're smarter than this. You and I are cut from the same cloth. Were this reversed, what would you do? You certainly wouldn't let me win, so you know in your heart the only way that your team can win is to take GB stars while he throws his ships into us, and then we duke it out, which is truly, I think, his only way that he could win. I am actually not lying. It is also the only way that I win, because we will not let him stab us and win, and we will let GB win over him. And he says, so hopefully this makes sense. He says, it does not. Your problem is that you do not. Is that our fight is making GB strong. Your problem is not that our fight is making GB strong. Your problem is due to your strength is mostly on the east. And now that the enemy is on the east, is fighting the same weapon tech level on the east. You are not getting systems fast enough then when losing on the west. My demands are reasonable as it gets. You will be losing way more if you decline and fight, and you know it. If you decide to turn everything you got to us, of course GB would win, but wouldn't be our fault. It would be your fault, Guzes. If this is how it goes down, it's 100% on you. 100% on you. Cycle 25. The game has changed yet again in a major way, and in a way I never saw coming. And let this be a lesson of perseverance. And I'm going to go back to how desperate things were for us, but our team never gave up. And we were always looking for ways and channels to move forward. I'm going to start with our team chat back 2 days ago, where I was talking about with Kane's progress stopped in the east. We aren't getting any more stars. We're holding the center, but in the west, it feels like we're losing. Our attacks are doing some good work, but we can't fight everyone. We need to pick. And so I was really pushing our team to allowing GB to get stars by throwing everything at Guzes to get him to flip to join us, because then GB would be the stronger the stronger team. And so as you can see, I was kind of working through that logic with the team, and it was 11 at night, and I said, you know what, fuck GB, Leroy Jenkins. I launched everything at him and said I was just going to base trade with him. And I set things up. My team started going, oh my, he's gone mad. Hold up. And then I realized I didn't have enough ships even to take 1 star because I was too weak. So GB, I was coming for you. I was going to kill everything except I didn't have enough ships. So I aborted. But that's where my head was at. I'm like, we have to do something drastic. We're going to lose. What do we do? And so I'm like, fine, I'll go to bed. And Imp said he's going to percolate some ideas. What Imp did is started to work, we'll call it like mental warfare, and he reached out to Baron von Dawn, the only one, and started to talk about ways that they could create chaos. We can do a backstab, and we'll get to exactly what the proposition was. But he did some things behind the scenes that I think clinched the game for us. So we talked about consolidating, and it was clear when we hit the next cycle, last cycle, for me to get the 3 techs I was missing, plus terraforming that I skipped from the turn before because I didn't have money, I would need to spend 1,500 of my 2,000 credits, 75% of my income, just to get caught up in tech, let alone do any upgrades. It just didn't make sense. So I did what I needed to do, and I declared war against my team, breaking the formal alliance in 24 hours, which is up in about 6. The logic there, of course, is give the stars to my team. The $2,000 I have can be given to them with 2 levels additional of terraforming because I hadn't bought them. They'll get more upgrades, and we'll start to consolidate anyway. It seemed to be the most logical thing. So that was the plan. And then I ended up talking with Baron as well. And this conversation was basically, he talked about he said it's your turn to create chaos, rejoin us, and he said that he would. Baron, has these giant masses of ships sitting at our border, and he was holding off attacking. And of course, that didn't sit well with Guzes, who we had full-on stop attacking, going hard at him. And so Guzes had enough. So this is where Guzes had his breakdown. He said, guys, congrats, I'm officially out. Not only I had to fight my own ally first, JSE, but now I have to convince my other ally to help me in the fight. I tried to turn this game around, and I did. There's only one thing everyone wants to win. There's one thing everybody wants to win. So go ahead and do it without me. Now, people are saying, that's because I lost on what everyone wants. All 3 of you are making it hard to figure out what people want. GB is just building up ships. Now, I don't know how much of this is a Baron's with an act, that he was just trying to be fun, or he was sincere in this, but we have to figure a workaround. And he says, I'm done. He says, I don't know who to help. You help your fucking teammate. Help your active team member then. That's what I'm trying to do. GB is not your enemy right now, but I can't when all the teams are taking 100 years to work out negotiations. Help Guzes. Sure, I will then. Attack whoever he's attacking. When negotiations stop, the enemy attacks your allies on all fronts. Don't just sit on 7,000 ships. Continue negotiating. Sorry guys, trust me when I said I tried. I just can't take it anymore. I'm hunting this guy in Discord chats to answer me, to help move his ships to the front line when we all have the advantages to penetrate to their center. What? He says, no, GP is just building up ships. He's like, what ships, bro? Look at his stats. He has 5k ships and 155 industry. So we had all the advantages against Graymason's team. They asked for a ceasefire without giving anything in return, and asked us to group up with a leader and attack the 3rd team. And we're still negotiating? And of course Discord erupts with game over. I asked you many times, for days, bro, you're not active. Let me have your system. And just kamikaze your ships into the enemy. And then he quit. Of course, people are very frustrated by that because that pretty much means I win my 3rd game in a row. This game doesn't deserve this. I tried. Oh boy, I tried. Nice little gift from Jubal Fett showing how team tried to stop me again. and you failed, motherfuckers. So this is what Guzes was showing. Like, this is what he was trying to tell. There's 3,000 ships, 2,000 ships. Everyone's attacking. Everyone. We're leaving him alone. We're talking in the background. This game is more than just tactics. This is real people behind this. And if you can get in their head and you can manipulate them, you know, that's part of the game too, my friend. Here's the message he was saying. You're not attacking, bro. I will be losing systems in the north. This is the Team Guzes chat. I don't understand what you're waiting for at this point. They're coming at me with full force, and we are just waiting for them to reinforce mid. If you know something that I don't know, I would love to know. Ping, ping, ping. Yes, they plan to betray you because they don't trust you to keep a deal. What deal are you talking about? They're not accepting anything. They're attacking me. Deal with 18 stars. You don't need a backdoor channel to see that. You can see their movement. They are attacking me. I know, but they're planning something else. And you're sitting there with 3,000 ships. Hold on to your hat, guys. They're planning something. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to negotiate them behind the lines. Negotiate what? I'm taking time to work out logistics. What to do with you. With me? Oh, I'm the problem. They don't trust you. So they want me to help wipe you out. Do I have to remind you that you're my teammate? Yes, I know. I'm trying to prioritize you. But you're not giving me many options. Dude, we fight together or we die together. There's one course of action where we all fight GB. You are not just a bystander in this game. No, jeez. Wait. And then the rest of the people are like, wait, are you guys not attacking Pandemic? He's like, I was. Baron's just sitting on his ships behind the front lines. We all had the advantage in center. They were desperately trying to work out a ceasefire. My side didn't fall for that trick, even based on been even on Stars Gate in the past few days. Jubal Fett. Graymason is excellent at finding the weak point and pressing on it until it breaks. Oh, so here's some more. This game turned into quite a nice, and if you're not going to be... So Guzes was like, hey, if you're not going to be on, let me take your stuff, and he didn't want to do that. He's like, if you would prefer, I could just come to your ships, and I'll... I don't... You know, it's fine. Life happens. I'll take your stuff, but we got to attack now. And then it goes on... what else did he have to say? You have a bunch of idle ships. We can really use them as they're attacking me. Oh, yeah. So it goes on. There's more. Of course, my response was just the Michael Jackson eating popcorn, enjoying the show. Geez, these ape games are not for the faint of heart. How many times were my hopes lifted just to get another dagger in the heart? I'm sorry, Jubal Fett. Chart, I'm sorry. So let's see. Graymason, congrats, man. However you do it, you did it. Your team clearly couldn't handle the pressure all over the map against a united enemy. Your logistics couldn't protect your dead center. Politically, you were demanding something so stupid 3 brain cells is enough to understand and not accept it. Yet you weaponized the hatred of yourself. I feel like I have to explain my frustration. For the others that don't know, this game is the genius plan Baron is. So this was the plan Baron was negotiating. I actually had not seen this. So this is Imp. This is all him when he said, let me come up with something. I propose entertainment and chaos. Let us will fulfill the prophecy of the Baron of the Dawn, and Graymason's lungs will be consumed. Our team seems to make peace, turn on GP, and grow strong. Then, when Pandemic's victory seems assured from every direction at once, all of us, you 4, and all 3 of us on our team, turn and eat Graymason alive, screaming in a day. I will pick a star near Pandemic's border with you. It will be the last stars to be taken, and the only one, him, Baron von Dawn, will be the one to take it. And at some point before the betrayal, I will convince Graymason to rename it to Graymason's lungs while he is still unaware of its fate. We got conspirators to lie to the rest of the players Oh, he got conspirators to lie to the rest of the players and tricked the whole board into thinking that he was dead. We will do better than that. It will be dramatic, funny, and fun to plan the placement of carriers for sudden but unexpected conquest. It will make Stoned Ape videos hilarious and exciting with a final act twist. It will be Graymason's final surprise video hilarious. So that was the plan. Like, that was the plan? And that's what Baron von Don was trying to work towards, and why he wasn't attacking with his 7,000 ships. Can't you see the desperation of this offer? This might be a ploy. We're just in way better position in the center of the north. They're not having a great time in the east. Graymason might just be a sacrifice for peace. It doesn't worth to give our advantage, but I would like to hear what this is about. Let's take a look at this. I know, but they're planning something else. What I just read you. And you are sitting on there with 3,000 ships. Oh, hold on, let me get the information. Bro, I guess it's time to play a little, for me to play a little AFK. With all the battalion temper tantrums of Graymason, I was sure we would get the advantage. I can't believe you doing this. I don't know why you're playing this. Not only do I have to fight with the enemy, I have to actively war against one of my allies and convince my other allies to participate in the war. This is what team game for you? Fuck this. Sorry, I'm trying to negotiate with them behind the lines. Negotiate what? So, yeah, I was in panic mode. I was trying to everything. I was pretending to quit and attack my team. I mean, of course, we're just consolidating, but little theatrics thrown in. It goes on. This is my team chat. He said he was willing to do this deal, which if we gave him 18 stars, they would attack GB with us. I don't believe it. Even though he's saying he would, I was willing to honor the deal. I still don't believe it. I just wouldn't have done it. So yeah, he says it was a great deal in that sense, keeping you in the game. You couldn't continue the game fighting on all fronts. You needed peace somewhere. Peace is not cheap. You cannot expect us to leave all the advantages we had, or would have, in the center and group up with you and fight the third team in a Mexican standoff. That was what Graymason offered me, and I said, I quote, your only chance of victory is the option where we attack GP in a ceasefire between us. That benefits, the benefits of that is that either of us break our word, we can just resume where we are now. Nothing lost. No one has to take a leap of faith on the backs of broken promises, which he answered with a grin on his face. I don't see how ceasefiring with you while you are desperate for it without having giving anything in return and attacking your enemy gives us the best chance to win the game. But hey, you are way more experienced in this game than me. But look who's laughing now. He has experienced this game in the ways that I can't really fathom. Thank you. And I actually do think that if he would have taken the offer, it could have worked for him. GB goes away. GB throws all his ships into us. All this purple pretty much turns green, and then it's a 1v1. I think we still win. That's why I offered it, but I think it would have given him a better chance. I mean, obviously the best chance for him to win was everyone to attack, but it wasn't just his team. It wasn't just his team. I don't know that I ever saw Crazy Horse Club attack at all. And Yellow stopped attacking, so people kind of gave up. So yeah, that's where it's at. We now need to just wrap the game up. I'll go back and show you what happened since then, basically, and nothing happened over here, but we did accidentally lose GB or HB1 here in the center. And then look at this. So this was 10 hours ago. So we had HB coming to take it back, but then it was the middle of the night, and so boom, this was 3 hours ago, and so this was 3 a.m. for Imp. They warp gate it, so even though he took it over, he's asleep, and then they send in the farm. So here's where we're at now. I'm sending everything I have, but they are gonna do some more damage. But you know what? Too late. If you would have done this 24 hours sooner, and blown up the middle, Guzes wouldn't have quit. But we held out by the skin of our teeth. And as a result of that, I think it's in the bag. We've got to clean it up. But I think we're going to get the 2 remaining players of Team JSE that have ships back on board with us. We'll clean up GB and get the 3rd win. That's how you play the game. Cycle 27. The game is on its final legs. We have triumphed. And now we just have to clean it up a little bit. If we take a look at where we stand with the chart now, I forgot to update the title. This is current tech, or current stats. And what you can see here is we are way ahead of everybody else, because you had over here Team JSE to Guzes. They were way up here, but then they went right back down because I took all the Guzes star that is now the AI, the 36 stars, made them a different color. You can see that that just makes them irrelevant. But on top of that, they realigned with us, started trading tech with us. They're friends again. The Hive has basically not done anything now. They're just AFK. Potato's dead. Graymason's dead. Stupid Luke is dead. I think Starshade's still flying around here somewhere. So it's basically this versus this, and I mean, they don't have enough of anything to compete. They're behind in tech. There's just no way they can win. So if we go back and see, I've consolidated my stars. We go back a little bit, and you can see that they did in this middle here. Right here is where I did a little explosion. They did send everything at us, but at this point now, it just doesn't matter because we have no one to attack now but purple. So everything is going to be hitting purple. Kane's hitting them over on the east. Everyone's just turning on them, and the game will be over soon. So, good game. Cycle 28, the game is just in cleanup mode. We actually have the old Team JSE back on board. The Hive team said just take our stars. The only team putting up a fight is Team GB, Species, GB, Crazy Horse Club, and Nocturnal Duck. So kudos for them for never giving up. They shouldn't. It looks like they are trying to push into green. Makes sense. Doesn't matter. Game is over. Cycle 29, and the consolidation has begun. When you look at the overall Empire screen, you see that our team is at 182 stars, and when you look at what you need to win, you need 162. So the war has been declared amongst the team. Where was that? Yep, so Kane has declared war and will be consuming. You can see all the highlights where people are in position, and they will in about 12 to 16 hours, somewhere in there, they will all vacate, and hopefully in the next 24 hours we end the game. So a nice clean ending, something you can do with formal alliance you can't do otherwise, where you have carriers sitting on the star. And the timing of this we've figured out is it says your alliance expires. The tick that it expires, you don't go to battle. So it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0, you're still on the star without a battle. The following tick is when the battle would incur. So hopefully they get the timing right on that. And yeah, we win in Cycle 30. Cycle 30, the end of the game. Let's take one glorious look at the final moments with Kane at 114 stars, needs 162, in position. The formal alliance is complete, and so all the ships come off. All the ships come off. You see the highlights, and then in one turn, boom, game over. Kane takes over 81 stars in one turn and finishes the game. So we have a beautiful display of fireworks across the map. We'll do a quick refresh here, and that's it. Team, I don't know what team number we are in, but Kane, Imp, Leave No Witnesses, Graymason wins the game. It was back and forth multiple times.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, click on the link for the next episode. And don't forget to click subscribe for more content.